Okay, so brain fog, right? Like that feeling when your head's all fuzzy, can't remember what you ate for breakfast, let alone that big deadline. Well, today we're diving deep into that with this YouTube video you shared, the one with Dr. Marian Rojas.
Oh, yeah, she's great. She makes some really interesting points because she talks about how brain fog, even though it's not like an official medical diagnosis, like doctors don't diagnose it, it's still a big sign that something's off.
Yeah, like your body's trying to get your attention. They're like, hello, pay attention to me, something's wrong. And it's more than just forgetting where your keys are, like for the hundredth time. Dr. Rojas really gets into how it affects everything, our jobs, talking to people, everything.
And it's not the same for everyone either, right? Some people, it's like those tip of the tongue moments happen more, like they can't find the right word.
Yeah.
But then for other people, it's way worse, like they can't focus or even do normal everyday stuff.
It's like you're trying to say something simple, but the words just disappear. Or you're watching a movie and suddenly you have no idea what's going on. Super frustrating. Makes you feel like you're losing it.
Totally. And that's where it's important to know the difference between brain fog and like something like dementia, right? Brain fog is more like a temporary thing. Your brain's just slow, not a forever thing. But, and this is important, even if it's temporary, it's still a sign that something's got to change.
Totally, totally. And I love how Dr. Rojas compares our brains to a computer. Like too many tabs open and boom, system overload, everything grinds to a halt.
Such a good analogy, right? And just like our computers, our brains need the right kind of TLC, right? We can't just run them into the ground and expect them to work perfectly.
Okay, but really though, about the tabs open, how many do you think I have open right now? Just kidding. Or am I? No, okay, seriously though. She talked about stress, right? And how it's like overloading our brain's RAM, so no wonder we're walking around in a fog.
Oh, for sure. You're totally right to bring that up because stress is like public enemy number one for brain fog, according to Dr. Rushas anyway.
So she connects stress to that, like stress hormone, cortisol, right?
Yeah.
And talks about how it messes with our brains.
Yeah. It's not even just that we feel stressed out, though, right? Like, even if we think we're handling it fine, if our cortisol's always high, our brains have a harder time processing stuff.
Oh, wow. So even if we're used to the stress, our brains would be freaking out, huh? Like stuck in overdrive, trying to do a million things at once. No wonder it's all jumbled and foggy.
Exactly. Which actually, that's perfect to transition to the next big culprit she talks about not getting enough sleep.
Yeah.
And it's not just being tired, though that's part of it. It's that sleep is like maintenance time for our brains.
I've heard that, but it's always sounded kind of vague to me. Like
Yeah.
what's actually happening while we're out cold.
So Dr. Rojas says that when we sleep, our brains are cleaning up, getting rid of toxins that build up during the day. And they're also taking those memories and like filing them away from short term to long term. So if we don't sleep enough, that whole process gets messed up. It's like those toxins just pile up, creating brain fog.
Okay, now that is a visual I won't soon forget. No wonder I can barely remember my own name after a bad night's sleep. Like my brain swimming in yesterday's mental garbage.
Yeah, not a pretty picture. And the thing is, Dr. Rojas points out most people totally underestimate how important sleep is. We even brag about it like it's a good thing. Oh, I can run on like no sleep. But those 7 to 8 hours, they're not just to feel rested, they're so our brains can actually work, right?
Totally. And then, of course, there's the whole thing about the food we eat. Like, we are what we eat, which makes me think about those gummy vitamins I had as a kid. But seriously, when she got to the part about which foods are actually brain food, I was all ears.
Oh, yeah, for sure. She's big on how what we put into our bodies fuels our brain power. Like omega-3 fatty acids, those are in things like salmon, walnuts, flax seeds, and they're super important for the brain to work, right?
And it's not just those, though, right? B vitamins, too. So, like leafy greens, whole grains, all that. But then she said magnesium. And this is where it gets interesting because she specifically mentions dark chocolate as a good source.
Right. Gotta love that she makes healthy eating a little more fun. And she's big on cutting back on sugar too. That sugar rush might feel like it helps your brain, but then you crash, and guess what? More brain fog.
Mm, tell me about it. It's like hitting a wall mentally.
Yeah.
One minute you're on a roll, the next you're staring at your computer like, what year is it? And, it's not just stress, lack of sleep, and what we eat either. Dr. Rojas talks about how our hormones can cause brain fog too, specifically hypothyroidism and menopause.
And I love that she talked about that stuff, especially for women, because it makes it feel normal, right? Like these hormone changes are totally natural, but they can really mess with your energy and your brain. And it's not like something's wrong with you.
Exactly. And then she got into long COVID, which I thought was really interesting. She mentioned that brain fog can be a symptom that sticks around after you've had COVID, which I hadn't really put together before.
Yeah, it's definitely something a lot of people are dealing with now. And she even said, like, we're still figuring out all the long term stuff about COVID. But it's got to be validating for people to hear that, right? Like, it's not just them, it's a real thing that can happen.
Okay, well, so we've covered a lot, and it's kind of like, whoa, where do we even start, right? But then Dr. Rojas lays out all these things we can actually DO about brain fog, which is amazing. And the best part, she doesn't make it sound like we need to like change our whole lives tomorrow.
Right. Like, it's not about finding that one magic pill. It's more like thinking about our brains in this whole life kind of way, making changes that last, that are good for us overall. And that helps clear the fog too.
I like that it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. Speaking of marathons, though,
Yeah.
she's all about the sleep, which we talked about that. But she gets into the nitty-gritty, like having a sleep schedule, going to bed, waking up same time every day, even weekends, which easier said than done sometimes.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah,
It's tough these days when everyone's always on the go, but she's right, it makes a difference. And that whole thing about a bedtime routine, like putting your phone away an hour before bed, dimming the lights, maybe taking a bath or reading, it's telling your brain, time to chill out now.
right. Like separating that go time from rest time. And you know what I loved? That analogy of the stress management toolbox sounded kind of cheesy at first, but then the way she explained it, so smart.
It's got to be personal, right? Whatever works for you. Like some people, it's meditation or yoga or deep breathing, even just having some me time every day. All that stuff helps get those stress hormones down, gives your brain a break from like the world being so loud all the time.
Yes. It's like hitting the reset button. And of course, back to the food thing, she reminds us it's not just about fighting brain fog, it's good for you, period. I used to think healthy eating was so boring, but Dr. Rojas makes it sound delicious. All those good for you foods.
It's true. It's about what you ADD to your plate, not just what you take away. And speaking of adding, she talks about exercise too.
Oh, yeah, got to move that body. And it doesn't have to be crazy either. She even says just to walk, like out in nature, does wonders because it gets the blood flowing to the brain,
It's wild how these small things make such a big difference, huh? And last but not least, she's big on those mental workouts.
like brain gym. And the best part, it's fun. She's like, do puzzles, learn something new, take up a new hobby, even just change your route to work, anything to keep your brain guessing.
Totally. Keeps things interesting up there.
This was a deep dive for sure. My brain's full, but in a good way. Like, we know the problem, A and D, we have the tools to fix it.
I love that about her approach. It's empowering, right? You're in control of your own brain health. And these little changes we talked about, they add up. They can really make a difference in how you feel, how your brain works, everything.
So true. And on that note, one last thing for everyone out there to think about. Dr. Rojas talked about the usual suspects, right? But what if your brain fog is something else? It's always a good idea to check in with your doctor, just be safe. Knowledge is power, and now you know even more, so you can be your own best advocate for your health.